I know it's kind of surprising to put Ritual at the bottom, but this has to be my least favorite Testament album. No, I don't think it's a bad album, but the reason why is, as I said before, it's mainstream. It's trying to be like Black Album and Countdown to Extinction. Well, more like Euthanasia than Black Album and Countdown to Extinction. That's how well, even though this album came out 2 years before Euthanasia, but you get what I mean. Or their Load or Reload, but yeah, I'm just not a fan of this album. I just really can't get into it. The only songs I like is Electric Crown, the title track, and Return to Serenity. That's pretty much it. Now, as y'all seen my review for that album, I already did a review for Titans of Creation. My opinion has barely changed on this album, except maybe I like a bit one more song from there, but the rest, my opinion didn't really change much. Not a bad album. It's just that their other materials are better. But Night of the Witch and Curse of Osiris are my favorite songs from this album. I'm starting to appreciate the song Children of the Next Level in World War III a bit more, but some similar songs, like certain songs, I feel like some of the songs are a bit open spaced, like I feel like City of Angels is a bit too long, in my opinion. So is Ishtar's Gates, even though it's 5 minutes. I feel like that song's a bit too long. But and then there's a couple of fillers. But yeah, I had to put this as my second least favorite for now. But I don't think it's bad. I just think it's kind of a bit overrated for me. I do remember there was supposed to be a Testament album released by January, but it was postponed, I think because of the coronavirus or whatever. But yeah, Titans Creation at number 11. I know it's surprising that I put Souls of Black pretty low, but then again, it's not really surprising because there were some mixed reactions with this album. For myself, I kind of see where this album is because this album sounded very too familiar from their first 3 albums, and kind of get bored listening to the same album. But it does have some classic songs like Souls of Black, The Legacy, Falling Fast, Face in the Sky. But it has some filler songs here too. But yeah, this album is it's kind of short, but it's just very far from their best, and even Eric Peterson said that this album is very rushed. So yeah, and I can see why this is a bit rushed. songwritings are very similar, and really nothing new, to be honest. But yeah, this has, I just don't know where else to put it. Alright, so as all we know, this is the band's first album in 9 years since their 1999 album, The Gathering. And not only that, this album brought back its original lineup, except for the drummer, which the drummer Louis Clemente was replaced by Paul Bostaph, who played some albums for Slayer, like God Hates Us All, Diabolus and Musica. That's whenever when Dave Lombardo was not there. But yeah, most of it has the original lineup. But yeah, but this is a very solid album for a return. But there's plenty of songs that are a bit repetitive throughout the album, and I just barely go back to them. But amazing cover art. I do like the cover art though. The only songs, most highlighted songs for me would be More Than Meets the Eye, Evil Has Landed, the title track, Formation of Damnation. That's pretty much it. I just don't really care for... Oh, the final track, Leave Me Forever. That's another highlighted track for me. But yeah, I just don't really care for this album very much. I just find this album a bit repetitive, and it's kind of like their mainstream sounding, just like with The Ritual, even though it's still very thrashy, however. But yeah, finally they released an album in 9 years. That's a very long time. Another solid album. I don't really want to go to details with this album because I almost forgot to include it in my list whenever I started doing the voice recording, but now finally doing it, I just want to give a little bit of details about this album. So I really enjoyed their first 3 songs throughout this album. The rest is just kind of but yeah, it does have some great moments throughout this album. But let me discuss the songs here real quick. And oh yeah, Brotherhood of the Snake, Pale Keen, Stronghold, another great. Seven Seals, another great one, and the final track. It does have some great moments, but then again, it has some filler here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. And on to the next one. like with Ritual, um, this album decided to do another sounding, mainly because they want to make it sounds more like a groove metal type sound than their thrash metal. Basically, with it's down to Jay Murphy's down tuned guitars and Chuck Billy's vocals. But I do find this album very interesting. I just enjoy its down tuned guitar sound, and I think this is their first album where Chuck Billy started growling. Well, he partially did it earlier in their first three albums, but he started doing it a bit more with this album. But yeah, I just really enjoy this album. That's pretty much I have to say for it. Sorry if I'm not saying much. But it is what it is. Now, this album is a return of Testament, Dark Roots of Earth. Or like even though this is this is Testament's Death Magnetic, except there's no Loudness War. But yeah, I am a big fan of Eric Peters' songwriting. Same with Alex Skolnick. And the main highlight with this album is Gene Hoglan's drumming. He is blasting with this album. It's just I just love its progressive songwriting throughout especially the song Throne of Thorns. Very heavy. I am a big fan of this album. It starts off very, very strong. My all-time favorite, Rise Up, Native Blood, True American Hate. Holy shit, that blast beat on that song just kicks ass. A Day in the Death, Cold Embrace, another amazing song. Man Kills Mankind, that's a great one. Excuse me. This is actually a really underrated album, in my opinion. But unfortunately, it's at number 6, which is pretty high for that, or whatever. But yeah, they have pretty great albums for it. But yeah, the majority of this album is mainly Gene Hoglan's drumming. I'm just a fan of Gene Hoglan. Many people put this album at the bottom, and I'm still trying to figure out why. I try to read the article, and many people it's because of Chuck Billy's vocals and the songwriting. I feel like, in my opinion, about this album, this is a very underrated album, in my opinion. I just love how dark it is. And I feel like his growled vocals definitely fits with the theme of this album. It just has its dark feeling into it, And Gene Hoglan also drumming in this album, and he was amazing as always. This album, I feel like this album deserves a second chance to listen because I just love how dark this is. No, I don't want to go to further detail because I'm planning on putting this album in one of my Why It's Underrated album series because I really like this album a lot. So yeah, this has to be at number 5 for me. The New Order is definitely a classic 80 album in 1988. But unfortunately, this ended up at number 4 because I just think the top 3 are better. But I'm still a fan of this album. It just has shit tons of amazing songs like self-titled. No, fucking title track, my bad. Eerie Inhabitants. Into the Pit, Preacher. There's a cover song from Aerosmith, Nobody's Fault. A Day of Reckoning, that's probably my favorite song from this album. And their instrumental song, Musical Death. But yeah, this is definitely a classic thrash album for sure. But it just ended up at number 4 for me. Nothing else I could say. Just like with their previous album, Demonic, The Gathering still keeps their dark themes to this album, even though Chuck Billy played vocals way more than his death metal vocals, since he used it very often from their previous album. As all may know, this is the band's first album with Steve Gigero on bass and Dave Lombardo on drums, who Dave Lombardo from Slayer, same with Paul Bostaph. He was phenomenal on the drumming. He's probably one of the best drum performances on this album, in my opinion. And I'm just a fan of his songwriting in general. Chuck Billy's songwriting, for sure. Mainly because of his down-tuned guitar sound and the fucking drumming. What can I say? DNR, Down for the Eyes of Wrath, another badass song. 3 Days of Darkness, Legions of the Dead, Careful, Soon Shut Eyes, holy shit, that's an amazing song. So is the final track, and I just love all songs in this album. Definitely a masterpiece album for sure. I can see why this is put in the top 3 or top 5. I know many of you would be expecting this album to be at number one, but unfortunately, it's at number two. But I still adore this album. Um, just one of the best debut albums in metal history, of course. Um, but yeah, just a amazing album. The songwriting from most of the songwriting is from Skolnick, but and the lyrics, most of them are written by Eric Sosa from Testament. No, I'm sorry, Exodus. My bad. Um, yeah, he did most of the songwriting on the lyrics. But yeah, but definitely an amazing album. Absolutely for sure. There's nothing else to say about this masterpiece. So let's just move on to number one. Yes, ladies and genitals, Practice What You Preach is my favorite Testament album. Of course, I'm a big fan of this album. It has the best writing, it has the best songs. The ballad is probably my favorite Testament song of all time. It's like, it's Testament's Fade of Black. But yeah, it's definitely a single from this album for sure. It just has amazing songwriting, especially from Eric Peterson. Actually, it's all written by the band, but mainly the ballad is actually it was written by Skolnick and Chuck Billy. But yeah, the songwriting, Practice What You Preach, is hands down the best album in my opinion. I just love it. Probably one of my favorite metal albums in 1989. I need to check here. But yeah, out of all 12 albums, this is my favorite. Okay, guys, that is my Testament ranking. And what is your ranking for Testament? Please put it down in the comments. I would like to see them. And check out my Facebook page for some updates or some upcoming videos, announcements, whatever. And yeah. Next album I'll most likely do is Strapping Young Lad. I don't know 100% sure, but it will be. I haven't made my final choice yet. I'm thinking about doing Symphony X yet. Next, either that or Strapping Young Lad. Mainly because I've been breaking too many thrash metal bands, and I feel like I just want to take a break from that right now, since I'm getting tired of thrash stuff right now. So I just want to do another metal subgenre. So Symphony X might be next, or Strapping Young Lad. I don't know for sure, but yeah. I'm also going to do another Why It's Underrated video. It's going to be for Black Sabbath 7th Star. Yeah, that's pretty much it. All I have to say. And I will see y'all next time. Peace out.